Right now on News 4 at 5, a massacre in Maryland. We'll have the latest details after a woman opens fire, killing multiple people.
Keeping a close eye on the strong to severe thunderstorm potential tomorrow and some gusty winds. Latest coming up.
And Attorney General investigation. We have a reaction as the state looks into the death of India Cummings. News 4 at 5 starts right now.
Live in high definition. This is Western New York's news leader. Now, News 4 at 5.
And developing tonight at 5, a woman accused of opening fire in a small Maryland city has died at a hospital after shooting herself. Good evening, everyone. 3 people were killed, 3 others wounded in a shooting at a Rite Aid distribution facility in Harford County.
That's about 30 miles outside Baltimore. Police say the shooter, a 26-year-old woman, was a temporary employee at this facility in Aberdeen. Authorities say she used one handgun during the mass shooting.
She had reported for her workday as usual, and around 9 a.m. the shooting began, striking victims both outside the business and inside the facility. We do not at this time have a motive for this senseless crime.
The sheriff's office stresses the investigation is still in its early stages. About 1,000 people work at that distribution center where the shooting happened. You can see much more coverage on this deadly shooting coming up on the CBS Evening News with Jeff Glor at 6:30.
Well, back here at home, some very scary moments for parents as they wait to find out what caused a lockdown at Bennett High School. Buffalo police say a threat was made by a phone call, prompting a massive police presence. Dozens of cruisers and K-9s were on the scene earlier this afternoon. A parent we spoke to says she's upset with the lack of communication during a terrifying situation like this.
I think they need to have a protocol for all kinds of emergencies, so that even if there's a broadcast text message that goes out to all parents, so that we know that we can expect some sort of answer, something. Because we're all left in the dark, and all we're doing is being told by the police officers that we have to step back and we can't find out what's going on with our kids.
We've reached out to both Buffalo Police and the Buffalo Public Schools for more information on this threat.
If this case get the recognition that it needs, maybe changes can be made, and maybe, there won't be another India coming out of there.
The state attorney general is now investigating the death of an Erie County holding center inmate. India Cummings died just days after being taken to the hospital from the holding center in 2016. News 4's Chris Servatos joins us now with reaction to this new investigation. Chris?
Hi, Don. India Cummings' mom and her attorney spoke with the AG's office today, actually. The attorney told us they definitely think the AG is the right group to investigate this. Her mother said she just wants to find out why India didn't get appropriate medical attention. Cummings was taken to the holding center in February 2016 after being accused of a robbery in Lackawanna. She spent about 17 days there before being taken to Buffalo General and dying of cardiac arrest. The Commission of Corrections Medical Review Board ruled this June that medical and mental health care provided to Cummings in the holding center was incompetent and inadequate. The board also said the death should be ruled a homicide. After reviewing the case, the AG has decided her office has jurisdiction to investigate. Cummings' mom says after seeing that Commission of Correction report, this is the right thing for the AG to do.
It was painful to read, and I guess that's why, I'm happy that they have taken on, that the special prosecutors have taken on the case, because my main goal wasn't about the civil suit itself. My main goal was, that they look into what's going on inside of the holding center.
I think the report that came from the state that kind of alarmed me as chair of Public Safety Committee for the legislature was fitting, and therefore a state investigation needs to happen.
There has been no reaction to this from the sheriff's office yet. We did reach out to them today, haven't heard back. But both Erie County District Attorney John Flynn and County Executive Mark Poloncarz are telling me this evening they support the AG's decision to investigate. Chris Servatos, News 4.
Well, former top aide to Governor Cuomo, Joseph Percoco, will spend 6 years in prison for his conviction in March on bribery and fraud charges.
A federal judge handed down that sentence in a Manhattan courtroom this afternoon, hours after pre-sentencing litigation from both sides. News 4's Marissa Perlman is learning more about what happened in court today. Marissa?
Well, Don, before his sentence came down, Joseph Percoco apologized for his actions, saying, "I live with the consequences every single day of my life." Prosecutors say Percoco and his family accepted more than $300,000 in bribes from companies that wanted to gain influence with Governor Cuomo's administration. Now, in the lead up to his sentencing, Percoco has tried to convince the Manhattan judge that he's remorseful for his conduct. But prosecutors called on Judge Valerie Caproni to send a message to state officials asking for no less than 5 years. They want to make Percoco an example of a no-tolerance policy of corruption in Albany. But Judge Caproni spoke to Percoco directly in court, saying the motive for this crime was greed and arrogance. The U.S. Attorney's Office is reacting tonight to the sentencing, saying in part, the sentence sends a strong message to public officials who violate their duties. They will be held accountable. Now, Percoco was found guilty of honest services fraud, conspiracy to commit honest services fraud, and solicitation of bribes and gratuities. He was acquitted of 3 other counts against him, including extortion. The governor is not accused of any wrongdoing. He did release a statement on the sentence, saying in part, quote, Percoco is paying the price for violating the public's trust. Marissa Perlman, News 4.
Let's turn now to weather with a live look over downtown Buffalo. It's feeling a little more like fall out there this evening, but some warmer temperatures are coming back. Our chief meteorologist, Todd Santos, has the latest. Todd?